I just finished 2 years at Ravenswood, so I've spent the first 2 years drawing. I'm working on my last figure drawing and my last cast drawing, and then I get to move on to painting, which I'm super excited about. And I thought I'd share the tools that we use for charcoal drawing. When I first start a drawing, I like to use vine charcoal. I've used a lot of different brands of the vine charcoal and I don't really see too much of a difference. This stuff is really good to start off with because it's super powdery. If you make a mistake, which you probably will when you're figuring out the block, and it's really, really easy to erase. I like to erase with a Shammy when I first start because it doesn't tear up your paper so much. I always have a clean kneaded eraser, so if I want to take the line off completely, this works really well. And then if I just want to lighten a tone or something, I will use a dirty kneaded eraser, so one that has a lot of charcoal already in it. So then when I feel like I have the block end of the drawing pretty well, then I will move on to the Nitram Charcoal. This is either pronounced, I think it's Nitram, it's either Nitram or Nitram, but this charcoal is the best out there for getting really sharp, clean lines. I probably use most of the HBs, so it's a medium hardness and you can really do a lot with it. The B, the green one, is soft and it gets really, really dark, which is awesome. And then for all my lighter tones, I will use the H. Then when I have my charcoal laid in, I like to use brushes very sparingly to get different effects with the charcoal. So I have a fan brush this one is a pretty hard bristle brush. So if I'm laying down a bunch of lines, I can use this to knock the lines down so each individual line isn't so evident. It's also really good for lightening different tones. This brush, which I've painted with before, but now it's my charcoal my charcoal brush. This is also a really stiff bristle brush too. So I like to think of it as pulling out shapes or just lightening or evening up tone, because if you're just in the mindset of blurring the charcoal, you can get your drawing looking pretty messy and dirty and not attractive. So for our last drawings that we do here in the program, we will use white chalk. I've only used this. You use so little of it, but I hear you can use any chalk, like what you would use to write on a chalkboard. So this is just a board of wood with sandpaper on it over a trash can to catch the charcoal dust. It's always kind of sad when you're sharpening your charcoal because these charcoal sticks are so expensive and you're just literally sharpening your money away. It's the worst when you break them. See, it had a nice point and I just broke it off. Okay, that's pretty good point. So the needles are also good, not just for filling in toner, making lines with them, but since we use a pretty toothy paper, this is really good to get into all the holes in your paper. Okay, so, oh no! So I sharpened these guys all into blades, and then these two into needles. I'd say I mostly use the blade ones, but I like the needles too. So that's it, and now I wash my hands. Bye.